Good day, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. It is the end of October, so it's time for my monthly wrap-up and next month's preview. Got some fun stuff to talk about, what I read in October, what I'm going to read in November, what I'm currently reading now, as well as some announcements, some exciting stuff happening on the channel next month, leading all the way into December. I can't wait to talk about it with you guys, so stay tuned. That's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Alright, it's Halloween Day. Woo! It's October 31st, is the end of October, and I can't wait to share with you everything that I have read, what I'm reading now, what I'm going to read in November. Also, stay tuned towards the end of the video for a channel announcement about some exciting stuff coming up on the channel for the month of November leading into December. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how my Goodreads challenge is going for the year. Let's talk about the channel and what we did this month and all that good stuff. So yeah, let's get right into it. So we'll start out with talking a little bit about what did I read in the month of October. As always, this is in no particular order of being read necessarily, but just the books that I happen to have read in the month of October. So as always, in each and every month this year on the Year of the Poe, we talked a little bit more about the classic works of Edgar Allan Poe. And what better month to talk Poe than October? He is the king of spooky tales, at least one of the earliest masters of the genre of spooky, scary, terrifying stories. So this, of course, month's feature story that I found was Never Bet the Devil Your Head. Link to that video will be below, so definitely be sure to go and check that out if you haven't already. Speaking of Poe, of course, if you're watching this is in the morning when this posts, later on today I will be doing a Poe live stream on the channel. If you're watching after, be sure to go back and check out that Poe live stream. I'll be sure to link that below as well. But yeah, we started with Edgar Allan Poe with Never Bet the Devil Your Head. This was just funny yet scary story at the same time. I mean, a guy gets beheaded in this story, and it's just a fun story all around. Like Edgar Allan Poe, he has this ability to weave this fun and humor within his stories, while at the same time doing things in his story that are kind of creepy and spooky. And he's just so good. He's like a master of that, and I really love that about Edgar Allan Poe. I've only got 2 months left in the Year of the Poe, 2 more sets of stories to go through, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how the year wraps up with Edgar Allan Poe's classic and collected works. And I can't wait to share what's left in this book with all of you. So Edgar Allan Poe, as always, was starting this month as usual. We also finished up the second book in the Shadow campaigns. So this is the Shadow Throne by Jangle Wexler. This is actually a reread that I'm doing through Audible. I'm rereading the first 3 before I get on to books 4 and 5 in this series, because I like to go back and reread, essentially. It's been a long time since I've actually read the Shadow campaigns, so now that I'm finally getting back to it, I want to refresh myself in the story. And if you haven't read the Shadow campaigns, it's actually a really good series. The magic system in it is based on, being possessed by demons, essentially. It's got that military Napoleon-era fantasy, so it's got, the guns and the muskets and all that kind of stuff within this book, so it's definitely not your typical fantasy. It's kind of got that Napoleonic military fantasy feel to it, with the very idea of the magic system is based upon being possessed by a demon. It's just a really cool idea in and of itself. I really kind of like that about this particular series as well, and it's just a fun read. So if that's your interest, if you like that kind of fantasy, this is definitely a book series for you. Once I'm completed the series, I hope to do kind of a why you should read this series type video on the Shadow campaigns itself. But yeah, just finished up book 2 of the Shadow campaigns this month, The Shadow Throne by Jangle Wexler. Really fantastic series that I highly recommend checking out. Next up on my list of books that I read this month was Soul Music, baby! Soul Music by Terry Pratchett. Discworld. If you haven't read Terry Pratchett, you really need to read Terry Pratchett. He is hilarious. He pokes fun at everything. I'm really enjoying my reading of Terry Pratchett, with one Terry Pratchett Discworld book per month until I get through them all. There's something like 41, 42 books in the series, but they're all really short as well. So they're definitely not those longer form fantasy books, but he just pokes fun at everything, and that's what I love about Terry Pratchett and his Discworld series of books. They're just so funny all around. Terry Pratchett and Discworld is absolutely hilarious. My review for this, I believe, will be posting early November, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know when my review for this book goes up. I do expect it to be up early November. This was a fun read. All of Terry Pratchett's Discworld is fun. Poking fun at the music industry is what this one is all about, so stay tuned for my review on soul music, which will be coming up early November, so definitely be sure to check that out. I also picked up a book just for kicks because I thought the concept of the book was absolutely hilarious. I'm not doing a dedicated review on this one. I read it in like one day in a sitting. It's I Knocked Up Satan's Daughter. This by Carlton Mellick III. A demonic romantic comedy. It definitely had its humorous aspect to it. The idea that this guy is basically seduced by a succubus, but he doesn't know it happened because his memory of the event is wiped. She shows up at his door pregnant with this kid, and now he has to marry her, otherwise, her demonic family is going to come and, wreak havoc and destroy him and his family and all this kind of crazy stuff. I mean, just the concept behind this book in and of itself is hilarious. I Knocked Up Satan's Daughter, it's just a funny concept to me, and I thought it would be a funny, good, entertaining read for spooky month October. So I picked that up. I enjoyed it. It was okay. I'm not doing a dedicated review on it. It's kind of a cultish comedy type feel to it. It was good. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I certainly wouldn't put there's like you gotta read it. But you might like it, you might not. I don't know. Well, if you think you might like it, check it out, I guess. But yeah, got that one done. Thought it would be a good read for October. One of the other books I also finished in the month of October. This was a book sent to me by an author as a ARC for a review of the book. This review's just recently posted on the channel this past Friday, so check that out. When the Crown Gambles by Jamel Effend. This is actually the second book in the High Council series. I actually did a live stream with the authors of this, War on the Fellows live stream. I'll link that below. Check it out. This is the second book in the High Council series, When the Crown Gambles, and I really felt that there was a vast improvement in the storytelling and the quality of this work above War on the Fellows. War on the Fellows was good, don't get me wrong, but I really felt that this had a big improvement even above and beyond what War on the Fallows did. Really enjoyed it, and I am now anxiously awaiting the third book in the High Council series. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I really enjoyed it. This is a world in which kings become gods, or rather kings are set up to be worshipped as gods after their ascendance ritual, and the whole world revolves around that kind of concept, but there is a divide between different religious factions that are leading to war and chaos and just all kinds of stuff. It's a good read. I really, really enjoyed it. What I love about this is the magic in this world is very subtle. It's very much in the background. It's kind of hinted at, it's suggested that it's there, but there isn't a lot of high focus on the magic itself. The focus is on the kings, the queens, the world that's been set up, and the characters. And I really do enjoy that about this book series so far, so definitely do check that out. My review for that, is on the channel, was posted on this past Friday, so the 29th, I think it was. Anyway, I'll link it below, just go check it out. And it's a good series of books, and I definitely would recommend that as well. So one of the other books that I managed to get through in the month of October was Terry Goodkind's Heart of Black Ice. This is the final book in the Nikki Chronicles, or Nisi Chronicles as I like to call it, from Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth world. I love Terry Goodkind's writing with his Sword of Truth stuff. Honestly, his other stuff isn't that great, but his Sword of Truth world I really enjoyed. Many people said that the Nisi Chronicles is far better than the original Sword of Truth. Now, I have to say, probably because it's much fresher in my mind. It's been a while since I've actually read the Sword of Truth, which I hope to get back to at some point. But I really enjoyed the Nisi Chronicles, and this was a good final entry into the series as a whole. I loved it. I enjoy it. I love anything Sword of Truth, and Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth is just some of my favorite fantasy that I've ever read. And it's just good. It is good. From, super uber powerful wizards, slave traders, serpent gods, stone soldiers, and, shrouds of eternity masking cities from the world forever. And it's just all kinds of crazy stuff going on in this book. Love it all. Check it out. Nisi Chronicles, Heart of Black Ice. My review is up on the channel, so definitely go and check that out. And of course, every month I am reading at least one nonfiction. That is my ultimate goal, to read one nonfiction per month. So, of course, Live Wired, inside the inside story, The Ever-Changing Brain by David Eagleman. This was my nonfiction pick for the month of October, and I have to say that I learned a lot about how our brains work. I love the way our minds work. Check out the review on this. I'll have that link below as well. Live Wired by David Eagleman. This was a really, really good read. I really, really enjoyed it. I love to learn. And so much of my nonfiction has been focused around quantum physics and cosmology. So it's really good to kind of get that open up into a different scientific discipline, getting into the mind, how that works. Psychology can actually be a very, very interesting thing. So it's really interesting to kind of see the neurochemical analysis of how our brains work. And it's just really is a good read, really enjoyable. And if you're into that kind of thing, if you want to know more about our minds, David Eagleman is certainly one person I would recommend. Live Wired is just a fantastic read, and I really, really enjoyed this one. So definitely go and check that out. So with those books being read in the month of October, that brings me to a total of 54 of 75 for my Goodreads goal for this year. So I'm still a little bit behind. I don't know if I'm going to end up hitting that. I mean, I've got 2 months left to get through 21 books, and I just don't think I'm going to read 10 plus books per month. I don't think that's realistic. So I just get the feeling I might not hit my goal this year, but 54 books in the year and still 2 months to go, I think is still pretty good. And, you know, I am so pumped and looking forward to seeing how many books I read next year, but let's see how strongly we could finish this year. You know, I'll probably get to 60 something, I'm thinking at this point, maybe 70. But anyways, 54 of 75 books for Goodreads goal this year is what I've accomplished thus far. And I'd say, even if I don't hit my goal, I think I'm still doing pretty well at that. So I'm not too upset about that. Maybe I won't set my goal so high next year. We'll see. We'll get it figured out. But ultimately, that's where we're at as far as my Goodreads challenge and Goodreads goal goes for this year. So let's talk a little bit about more what we did with the channel this month. So one of the things I certainly had a lot of fun with, and if you haven't checked it out already, Isaac Asimov's Foundation came to Apple TV this month, and so far I'm really enjoying the show. I've got a Foundation TV show review on the channel. You can definitely check that out. I'll have that in the cards and link below as well. I also did a live stream with Bookish Chas about the Foundation TV show. We had a lot of fun talking about the show and our own little fan theories about what's happening, why it's happening, what's going to happen as the show progresses and continues. So definitely I'll link Bookish Chas below and definitely check that out as well. That live stream was a lot of fun, and I look forward to doing another live stream with Bookish Chas. We are planning on doing a kind of season wrap up for Foundation live stream. I think that'll fall on November 21st, so stay tuned. That one will actually be on Bookish Chas's channel. We're still finalizing the day and getting confirmed, but it'll be on Bookish Chas's channel. I'll let you know if that changes. So link that below. Make sure you go to his channel and subscribe so that you can get notified when that goes live on the 21st, Sunday the 21st of November. So definitely stay tuned for that. That was a lot of fun. And of course, I also went to see the Dune movie this month, and that was just a fantastic movie. Best adaptation of Dune yet. In fact, I would even say it is probably the only adaptation of Dune. Those other ones don't count now that this one is out. It was just so good. I did my movie review. I'll link that below as well. Try to remember to put that in the cards. I think I can only have up to 5 cards in the video, so if it doesn't get in the cards, it'll be linked below. But I did a Dune movie review video, so definitely be sure to go and check that out as well. So those aspects were just so much fun with this channel. The Dune movie, Foundation TV show, live stream with Bookish Chas about Foundation TV show, and of course upcoming live stream with Bookish Chas about Foundation wrap up on his channel as well. So definitely subscribe to Bookish Chas, check it out, and you'll be notified when we go live on his channel. So let's talk about now, what am I currently reading? What's happening right now? Well, currently I am reading Book 3 of the Shadow Campaigns by Jangle Wexler. So this is the Price of Valor. This is the 3rd book in the Shadow Campaigns, which is my last reread from the Shadow Campaigns before I actually get into the Shadow Campaigns 4 and 5, which I'm really looking forward to. finishing up this series, because again, it's one of those book series that I've really enjoyed, and I'm really happy to go back and do a reread of this series. So definitely once I've done wrapping up the whole series, stay tuned, because I'm planning on doing a Why You Should Read the Shadow Campaigns video. Once that wraps up early next year, I expect to finish the series based on my current TBR schedule. So right now I am reading The Price of Valor, Book 3 in the Shadow Campaigns. I'm actually rereading this on Audible, narrated by Richard Poe. I have to admit, part of me wonders if he's somehow related to the famous Edgar Allan Poe. I don't know, it's probably a way I could find out, but I think Richard Poe is doing a great job of narrating the Shadow Campaigns by Jangle Wexler. Really great book series, and I am certainly enjoying it. What I'm also reading is another series that I'm absolutely loving, and really looking forward to finishing up this series, at least the books of the series that I have right now, and that is Book 7 of the Expanse series, Persepolis Rising. This is really interesting. It turns out this takes place about 30 years after the events of the last book. And so far, again, really enjoying this book. There's a new thread, of course, like there is in every single book in the Expanse, but definitely it is an enjoyable read. I'm loving this series, The Expanse. If you haven't checked out my other Expanse videos, definitely do so. I definitely have them in my science fiction playlist here on the channel. So Persepolis Rising by James S.A. Corey. Another fantastic entry into this. I have yet to read an Expanse book that I haven't liked. Seriously, I haven't read as an Expanse book I haven't liked so far. I don't know how that's happening, but seriously, it's just so good. Loving The Expanse. Check it out if you haven't already. It's a fantastic series of books. Alright, so let's talk about what am I going to read in the month of November. So, as always, this year it has been the year of the Poe. So we've got a bunch of stories from Edgar Allan Poe coming up for November. But this time we're actually getting through the short stories, and then after that we're transitioning over into the poems or poetry of Edgar Allan Poe from my collected works book, which I have been enjoying thoroughly all year long. I've got a new appreciation for Edgar Allan Poe that I simply put didn't have before. And I'm so glad that I picked this up, and I have been reading his stories. It's just been fantastic. So in terms of what we could look forward to with Edgar Allan Poe's stories this month, to finish up his short stories for this month, we've got a few here, starting with Thou Art the Man, followed by Why the Little Frenchman Wears His Hand in a Sling, Bon Bon, and Some Words with a Mummy. And of course, this is M-U-M-M-Y, not M-O-M-M-Y. So mummy, like Egyptian mummy, I guess. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm really curious. What would a mummy say if you had a conversation with him? I guess we'll find out. At least what Poe thinks the conversation would be like, at the very least. Some words with a mummy. I think I might already percolating some ideas on how I could do that one. Stay tuned. You'll find out soon enough, I guess. And then we roll in to the poem. So of course, we got the classic, The Raven. I mean, everybody knows Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. It is a classic Poe. And then there's the bells. Ulahum to Helen, Annabelle Lee, A Valentine, an Enigma, To My Mother, for Annie, to F, to Francis S. Osgood, El Dorado, Eulalie, A Dream Within a Dream, to MLS, and then just 2, The City in the Sea, and The Sleeper. So those would be the ones that I will be covering this month for my Edgar Allan Poe reads. So if you're interested in any of these or just want to know what I think about these poems and these stories by Poe, go back and watch the other videos, but also make sure that you catch my video on those ones here on the Year of the Poe here on the channel. Something I've been having a lot of fun with. I'm so glad I got this book, so glad that I've been reading it. It has just been awesome. Like I said, a whole new appreciation for Edgar Allan Poe that I just didn't have before. I kind of liked his work before, but now I love it. And of course, continuing on in that tradition of one Terry Pratchett book per month as well, we will be reading Interesting Times by Terry Pratchett. I would say this is probably going to be an interesting time reading Interesting Times, because Terry Pratchett is hilarious. Although, just from the title, I can't quite tell what he might be poking fun at in this one, so I really look forward to finding out what the fun, entertaining, comedic value, what he's really getting at with this book with Interesting Times. It'll be fun to find out, so definitely find out along with me. Stay tuned to the channel and check out my review on that whenever I get around to putting that out. Also, we will be starting up a series of books that BookTube has been nuts about with Joe Abercrombie. I am starting The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. So I'm finally getting into his other material outside of his Shattered Sea series, which I read a long time ago. I've been hearing nothing but praise for Joe Abercrombie since then. Admittedly, when I read the Shattered Sea series, it was okay, and I wasn't thinking, boy, I really got to read more Abercrombie. But apparently, these books do far better than the rest of his Shattered Sea stuff. That's just a better book from everything I've been hearing about Joe Abercrombie and his world that he's created. Master of the Grimdark, as so many have referred him to. So I'm really looking forward to finally getting into some more Joe Abercrombie with The Blade Itself coming up in the month of November. I can't wait to check that out. Can't wait to read it. That is going to be a good read. And of course, continuing on with book number 8 in the Expanse, Tiamat's Wrath. This will also be one of my November reads, and I am really looking forward to getting into this. The final book, at least the last one that I personally have of this series. I'm pretty sure there's a book 9, but I don't have it yet. Tiamat's Wrath, The Expanse. I've been enjoying this series so much, and I have no doubt that I'm going to be enjoying this book just as much, and I can't wait to get to it. It's going to be a good read, and I so look forward to it. And for the non-fiction read of the month, I'll be reading a book titled The Grand Biocentric Design: How Life Creates Reality by Robert Lanza. So this kind of gets more into that biology aspect, and just the subtitle here, How Life Creates Reality. Instead of reality creating life, how does life create reality? That should be an interesting concept to read about, and I look forward to getting to the Grand Biocentric Design as I look to expand my non-fiction repertoire, non-fiction library of the types of non-fiction that I read. So this should be a fun and interesting read, and I really look forward to getting to it and sharing my thoughts on this book with you, my wonderful viewers and subscribers. So if you want to see what I have to say about any of these books, make sure that you hit that like button, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you get notified when I put reviews of these books up on the channel. So that takes care of my to be read pile for the month of November. So what am I going to be reading, or what else are we going to be doing on this channel? So this is kind of where we get into the announcement of some fun, exciting plans that I have for the channel coming up in November, rolling over into December. If you've been following BookTube, you know a lot of BookTubers are really super pumped about Wheel of Time on Prime. If you haven't been following BookTube and you haven't heard about Wheel of Time on Prime, where have you been? This is going to be epic. This is probably the most anticipated TV show in the history of television. At least it is for me. Can't speak for others, but it certainly is for me. So Wheel of Time on Prime premieres on November 19th. So what we are planning, and it's going to be so much fun. We're going to spread the love around to a few different channels. We are going to do a series of live stream events to kind of just hang out, geek out, and talk about the Wheel of Time on Prime. And the plan is to do a separate live stream after each episodic release throughout the first season. According to IMDb, there are 6 episodes in the first season. So this is going to cover a 4 or 5 week period, because the first 3 episodes will be released on November 19th. So on November 20th, time to be determined, still working out the exact time, but on November 20th, the day after Wheel of Time, first 3 episodes are released, we are going to be doing a Wheel of Time live stream with fellow booktubers here on the channel to discuss and geek out about Wheel of Time in the first 3 episodes. I will be hosting the first stream here on Drew's Book Reviews, along with Andrew's Wizardly Reads, Nikos Book Reviews, Bookish Chas may be joining us, and hopefully Epic Tales can join us as well on that live stream. After the first 3 episodes are released, to just kind of geek out of it. I will tell you right now, there will probably be spoilers during these live streams, so make sure you watch the episodes before you check out the live streams. So the first week, on November 20th, here on Drew's Book Reviews, we're going to do the first of these live streams in this series. The following week, which will fall on November 27th, will be hosted by Andrew's Wizardly Reads on his channel, so we can kind of geek out about episode 4. And then following that on December 4th will be hosted on Bookish Chas's channel, so while we geek out about episode 5. And to wrap things up, Nikos Book Reviews will be wrapping it up with episode 6 on his channel on December the 11th. Now, some sources have said there are actually 8 episodes in the first season. IMDb shows that there are 6 episodes in the first season. So I'm going with what IMDb is saying. At least in my experience, they tend to be a little more accurate. So I'm going with what IMDb is saying. But, you know, we will absolutely extend the live stream series if it turns out IMDb is wrong. But my understanding is there are 6 episodes in the first season. So that is the schedule for these live stream events that we will be having. And so make sure that you subscribe to all of their channels so that you can be notified when we go live to geek out about the Wheel of Time. Who isn't excited about the Wheel of Time? I'm certainly excited about the Wheel of Time. So just to recap, November 19th, Wheel of Time live stream, first 3 episodes right here on Drew's Book Reviews, followed up on November 27th by Andrew's Wizardly Reads, who will be hosting on his channel, follow up with episode 4. Immediately the week following that, Bookish Chas on December 4th will be hosting for episode 5, and Nikos Book Reviews will be hosting to end out the whole first season live stream series of Wheel of Time for episode 6. So make sure that you subscribe to all their channels. They will be linked below. Hit the bell notification on my channel, their channels, everybody's channels, and hopefully Epic Tales can also join us. Make sure that you subscribe to his channel as well. We are so excited to be doing this. I'm excited to be doing this. I can't wait to talk about Wheel of Time with all these awesome booktubers and for you to join us in the live streams. Time of day to be determined. We will finalize that a little bit closer to the dates, but definitely subscribe, check it out. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to share all that with everybody. And as always, thank you so much for watching. So those are my planned announcements for, oh yes, and of course, as I mentioned earlier as well, don't forget, I'll also be doing a Foundation live stream with Bookish Chas. The plan is the 21st of November, which is the same weekend as the Wheel of Time, but the day after the Wheel of Time stream. That'll be on his channel, so subscribe to his channel. Get the bell notification there as well. Anyway, those are my plans for the month of November. I can't wait to share it all with you. I can't wait to have so much fun with this. I'm so excited about Wheel of Time, and to do these live stream events, it's going to be so much fun. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, commenting, liking. Join me on the Discord. Join me on the Bookstagram. Check us all out. It's going to be so much fun. We can have a great chat about everything related to science fiction, fantasy, nonfiction, Wheel of Time if you want. Until next time, as always, keep on reading. Bye.